Okay, so in last session we started with bootstrapping the framework and how does the framework would evolve. I have not touched the files that we have seen in the last framework, and probably I'll share this once I think it reached to certain point. I'll share this repo so you can explore and try out those things. But this is where we were, right? We discussed about the framework structure. We installed the Playwright. We created different folder as a test source, test data. We used Tracer. We created a user data to try to see and use it in our test. We created page objects model from the test that we were recorded. We tried to segregate the data, and few of it was working, few of it wasn't. So we will try to refactor it this time and try to make it like as simple as possible for everyone to consume, read what is that we have written, and then we will go on adding new text as well, and then we will, while doing that, we will explore Playwright features as well, right? So we in the introduction of Playwright we just touch base the the kind of features that Playwright support, including the tracing and other HTML reportings. But Playwright has more to offer, especially like how can you use UI mode open Playwright. Though we have explored the recording mode and plugin, there is something called UI mode that I'll show you. It's very simple to use. Again, it provides like some of those might have worked within Cypress may have those kind of feelings. So it provides that kind of a mode as well in a way. The other thing, there is something called as an in advanced concept. You can also go ahead and see how can Playwright use for API testing. Then how can we mock some of the endpoints that we wanted to get a data from. So we will eventually go into that and try to explore that, and then how to fine tune the framework configuration using this Playwright config ts file that gets created by default. We went through it and then that was it, but we have not actually explored it, and we will eventually go and execute what we have developed in a CI/CD mode and then try to see how the reports would look like. So that's the plan. So idea is like after completing this, you should feel like useful, that particular tool, and if you spend time, you can get better at doing it and try to understand more things which we have covered. Obviously, what I have been saying from like day one, just watching these sessions, connecting on the sessions, not gonna help you much, right? No one becomes a good chef just by watching videos. They have to do the experiments in the kitchen itself, and obviously you have to spend time to get better at the Playwright. As I said, you can DM me at any point in the time if you stuck, if you face issue. I'm happy to resolve it as soon as I get a time. Okay. That being said, I'll just go to the three tests that we have developed, and then we will see what needs to be done. We will today also try to include the other part that we wanted to do, like how to handle multiple environment at once within Playwright. So we will try to see that if that's possible. Though we have created a config folder while discussing the framework structure, but we haven't added anything into it. So probably we will try to do that today while doing this. Okay. As I said before, if you face any questions, if something is not clear, don't hesitate to ask the question or stop me in between, and I can take up those questions. Right. So I'll just go through like tests. So basically, what we have done in the last, so we have created in source, we have created some page objects model. Those we created like some classes, but not like completely did the page object kind of a thing apart from a login. So login, we created this class which only has one method as of now, like login, which accepts an user and which clicks on a login button. As I said, page object only is an interface which provides action that we do on the page. We don't do the verification in page object model. So you won't see whether I am logged in or logged out in this. That's supposed to be handled by the test. So the testing logic and actually the action logic should be in isolation. So that is what we are trying to achieve. So we only created this page object model, and whatever we have recorded, that is still in there. So today we will try to organize this better. We will try to make other page object model and make it more robust and try to create a framework around it, and then we will try to see how, if we wanted to use in multiple environment, how can we do that as well. Okay. So that's the plan. I'll just try to run what is working and what is not. As I said, I have not made any changes. So these are individual tests that we have written, right? And all these tests can be executed individually as well. But if you have a flow or if you want to create a suite, that's a better option to do. Suites provide you more useful thing to manage the test. Like you can use a hook like before test and after test kind of an hook that we talked about in the last session. So we can probably use those kind of a thing as well. So before test Playwright, as I said, this is not gonna be like prepared session. This is would be like how end user would actually do the testing, do the scripting about an automation when they are actually working, right? So I am assuming I am given the task to do something, uh, developing something framework again for some side, and I'll try to do what is required while doing that, right? So I was talking about this. Oh, I am so sorry. I was sharing my screen, but I stopped some point in a time. I'll do share. Thank you for letting me know. Otherwise, I would have gone forward. Is my screen visible for you now? Yeah. Apologies for not keeping tab on it. Yeah. So we talked about, okay, I was showing just around the VS Code of what we did in the last time, that we created these pages. Most of them are blank. We just copied the code that we have recorded and put it in the login. We created this type wala thing and how we supposed to create a type and those things. Then those types we have defined in the interface. We exported the interface. Then we wrote and tested the method where we can create a dynamic data using a faker. And then there is this other recorded thing, or as it is, we will try to modify it today, make it workable, and we will also try to parameterize it for another environment, and then we will take it from ahead. I was talking about one of the things that I don't know whether you paid attention to, but I was talking about Playwright supporting a UI mode, right? So what is the UI mode? This is like this is where it's you can see some kind of a mixture of your tracer, but actually where you can run your test as well. So if I wanted to run a test, I can run the test, and if I click on this, I should be able to see the okay. I don't think I have default view in place. Okay, it's in default view. So so now if I run the test, okay, you can see my tests are getting executed over in the browser itself, and you would be able to see that okay, Chromium test is running, Firefox test is running, WebKit test is running, and you can also see those things. So this is UI mode. Mm-hmm. Ah, okay. I was sharing a wrong screen. Is that the case? Okay. I know. I am not sure. This is going in the right direction today, but yeah. Okay. Ah, my bad. Now you see this web page where you see this test before all. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just summarize again for the sake of summarizing it. Uh, so last time where we were creating some pages. We created three different folders. Though we have created a config folder, we haven't done anything, right? So only the login page we organized to the page object model, and which has only one method which accepts and data type called new user. We defined a custom data type, and that is what we have defined in the types. We created an interface and exported it so it can get used. We also learned how to use the faker, and we created the data that was required to log in on the fly, and that has been available over here. And that's what we did, right? And there is still like a lot of recording code available that we have recorded, which we will try to refactor, and eventually we will try to go towards the close of the framework, how the framework should be. I was talking about this UI mode, and I was sharing the screen before. Actually, I was supposed to share this screen. So this is what I was referring, that this is very close to, people do what in Cyprus. They wanted to see what is getting executed, and they also wanted to see the actual execution. So in a way, Playwright supports that as well. But this is again, if you observe closely, it is very similar to what we have seen the trace viewer is, right. The trace file, how does it view that? It has support. It has in a way that you can identify the locators and other things, and your locator will get displayed. The actual code of a source, then calls being made, and then logs, obviously network calls and all the details, just like in browser, right? So in a way, it is way good, like exceptional thing that Playwright offers, and you should try it out. Uh, Even before, if you want to make a change, you can modify and connect it with your uh, VS Code, and then it will have the hot reloading. Hot reloading is something that if you open and change something in the file, and if you are watching that file, the script will automatically get executed in the file that you will make the change. So you don't have to manually go and start running the script. So that would be very useful if you have long shoots, right? Again, like, this can also be divided into the projects and other things that we will see later, not right now. So here you see that these are the projects that we have: Chromium, Firefox, WebKit, and this project, okay, not sure the, so I hope this is visible now, right? So this Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit, and this actually comes from this playwright.config file that we talked about at one point in a time, that this is where we do a lot of setting. So for now, I'll just get rid of this, because we will be using both the modes intermittently. I don't want it to have some kind of an impact, because obviously all the tests will always run in, like, all the suite. Now you will only see the Chromium, and if you run it, will only run against the Chromium model and not against like other models, right? So so that's about it. Like, this is what most of the people fall for when they go for a Cypress, that they do something, they were able to highlight a particular locator, but Playwright also does that now, and something that we have as a trace viewer can be seen as a part of an, like, execution engine on selection of a text. You can filter it using a tag. You can just type some text, and those text will get filtered out that we can use. So that's about it. So moving to, like, parts. So today we will organize things. We will see what is working, what is not working, and how to organize and get everything in the mode of a playwright. And then we will see how much we can cover today. Okay, cool. Thank you for your feedback so far. So we have written wrong password test, and I was talking about describe block, right? So we can have the test in the isolation, just like what I have done, but it does work fine. It don't have any impact as such, but oftentimes, especially in end-to-end flow, your tests have to be dependent on each other, right? So in that mode, you can create the test in one spec file and run it sequentially, so that individual verification can take place, and that should work. Though folks expect you to write isolated independent test, that's not gonna be the case for end-to-end test, right? So if you are on e-commerce site and you wanted to do the checkout, you obviously need to search the item, add item to the cart, do the payment, and actually put the checkout at the last step, right? So put in the address, email details, create the user if user is new, so all those things. So eventually you wanted to test the checkout, either you write something in the in API and just do the checkout on the UI wala part, or otherwise you will do end-to-end flow. And in that end-to-end flow, you need to know what has failed, what has not failed, and that time this describe block kind of a thing will help you a lot, and this will also help you to uh, include some hooks that we talked about, right? So why I'm talking about this again, that we talked about in like 5 minutes back, because we will try to go through now all the tests that we have written. We will reorganize it, but while reorganize it, we will think about what is the thing that we are doing like a 3 times, and how can I change it, right? So that is what the objective is, right? So in sign up we have 2 tests where we saw that, okay, we are creating a random user every time, and we were saying that something is visible or not. My email is visible or not, right? So let me run the test and let's see whether it is run or not. We will try to see if this test works or not. Okay, this test is working fine. As you can see that I could verify it and it has passed, right? Now I take like should not be able to sign up with an existing email. So we know that this is the email that we have used on 6th of December. I'm not sure whether this will work. The data is still there for this user on the site or not, but yeah, email is already exist and even that test is passed, right? So all those tests has passed. So good. Now we will try to modify this test and try to put it in the page object model. We will create the sign up page object model and we will organize this test. So let's start with the sign up page object model, right? So this is a blank thing. Just like export default class sign login page, we will write it here. Export default class, but now the page name is changed and we will follow some kind of a naming convention. Our file name is starts with a small letter but our class name is always capital, so we will write it as sign up page. Obviously what I have done is on the page classes I have ended with the page so that whenever I import it, so login is an action, but login is action on the login page. So I don't want like login when I actually call the login, right? But which I can, but ideally instead of login page, login user. This looks more readable. Obviously you can say that I can create as a login object as a login page object and use that variable or instance of that object as a login page. That will also do, but this is more readable according to me and it makes sense because we are trying to interface the page. So we will try to exactly same thing uh, for sign up as well. So I'm just duplicating it to for the reference. So obviously we have to import both of these things over there as well. Okay, I have the URL. Sign up URL is different than the login URL. Okay, we have the sign up URL already by default over here. I don't know how, but yeah, good to have that. We have navigate sign up. Okay, did we create a sign up page earlier or I was creating it now? I don't know. Maybe yeah. Anyway, so we have this sign up and okay, this is something that GitHub Copilot created on the fly. That is why I am not able to recall. So we have this navigate thing. We have you see that I am getting an user email and password as a parameter, right? We talked about this as in the thing when we talked about in Playwright that okay, it's not necessarily true that we need two parameters, right? So we know that okay, I'll be most likely for sign up I need three things. So I'll need a user within three things, right? And that is why when we created this type interface for a user, you will see that we have also added username, email, and password field. And when we created the data using this test data created, we use as a faker first name as in like something we are creating on the fly as well, right? So we need basically instead of having two things, by looking at the page, we know for sign up we need three things. So I'll try to use this same user object over there. So instead of this, I'll say that I need user of a type user, right? And then obviously whatever the data is over there, I need to change and put it over here. As we have recorded that in our sign up space, I'll just copy it and try to fill it over there, right? So we know, so we know this is what we need and we don't need assertion. So this is assertion, we don't need that. Assertion will always be part of a text and not a page object model. If it is a part of a page object model, it's not a good design, right? We are referring every page as a this dot page because it's a page that we are referring is of this particular class instance which we are also using when we initializing this class. Obviously, we will also see uh, you know we will also try to abstract this kind of pages and initialization that we do, but we won't be doing this in today's session, maybe next session or after that. So what I meant by that, I'll just quickly show. So you saw that I was initializing this login page object over here, login page with page object creation. We are interacting with one page, but we talked about like 2 minutes back about checking out something from Amazon or Flipkart or any e-commerce for that matter. So you will need the search page, you will need the product description page, you will need the search listing page, you will need the order page, you will need where you put in address page and then actual checkout page. So if I have like 10 different objects, should I go ahead and initialize all these pages in the test itself? Or maybe in before whole shoot as well, or I can do it some places and those pages are available to use to me right away instead of I am doing all this manual work. So we will go to that stage as well, as I said, but it's not gonna happen overnight. And obviously you will see the problem, why we are which problem we are trying to solve it. If I do like create that file right away and show you, okay, look at me, this is how the flow is going, it's not gonna be helpful. Whenever you are designing something, you need to know what problem you are facing and how you are tackling that particular problem. So here in this case, we are talking about the sign up page. Here in sign up page, we know that we wanted to verify that person is able to sign up, and then it's once he sign up, his username is visible, right? So those are things that we need to verify from the test that we have designed earlier. And this, remember, this were the code test that we generated using the recorder, code gen, right? So we will modify it and bringing it to the right structure in today's session. So I took up the code from here and I put it up in the sign up page, and this is how the code looks like. Uh, Get placeholder, email. But if you recall, I said that page object should be good and other things, and most often like sign up and login is the part of a single page, and then I'm copying this over here. Then if there is another method, I'll be copying this locator over again in that method. Suppose I have another method called login. For now, in this instance, it's a different method and on different page itself. So it will be logically different page. But if you see, if I create another method, if you see that I have the duplication of the code in the page object model, at least for the locator identification. So what I mean by that, instead of email field, suppose the placeholder change from email to the your email, right? This is very much possible that placeholder that you see on this page, email, anyone can change the placeholder to uh, your email, right? So I'll just go and show you the placeholder that is been there. So this is what the placeholder value is, and if I type it, it's your email, and this is there, right? And if now someone has created this file, this change, even in my page object, if I'm referring to the same element in multiple classes in different way, I need to make change now at this place as well, this place as well, right? To get it working. So again, this is not an optimal way that we are doing things, right? So the location is supposed to go in the generally in the constructor kind of a thing. So though we have copied things from this page, we may not use it. I'll show you how we can get rid of it and try to use what we need. So I'm going to the extensions that we talked about, like VS Code supports this Playwright extension and it is how good it is. So I'll just go to the sign up page again, so that I'm just trying to get username. Your name is like a phrase that we need, right? So I'm just copying. I'm getting this. So I am writing another. Uh, Now this URL is hard coded. We will get rid of this URL from here, and I'll show you how to handle that as well. But the field name is an username or name. I'll just write it as a private. Then the field name is name, and I'll type it as a type of a locator. Right? It's a locator. So I'll say the locator. Then it's not the only locator that we are interested in. We are interested in the email, and we are also interested in the password, right? So these are the three locators those there are on the page in the fields, and then there is again obviously the sign up button. So I'll just write as a sign up button, right? Now one more thing, sign up button locator. So all this looks good, right? But there is this one convention that we should try to use over here. What is that convention that I'm talking about? I'm talking about type of the field. This is the input field. This is a button, right? If there are so many input fields, you wanted to utilize your ID to the maximum, efficiently use your ID to the maximum potential. So if there is a button, if you type B, all the buttons should be from the page should be available for you to consume, right? Like I wanted to use button, but I have not defined any button. Sign up button is there, but it's not starting from the sign up. So what I supposed to get this around, I should use some kind of a nomenclature in my framework. So that will help me identify the type of field as well. So I will go as an input, as a name. Obviously, we will use camel case. This is in camel casing. So there are multiple ways how we name the variable in a different programming language. Python use a different way. TypeScript, Java generally prefer camel case where small thing, small letter in the first as a variable name, and then something that is where you are concatenating it will be like uh, capital one. So input email. Will it without this? It will. But you have to think from the long term perspective that what is that you are actually wanted to achieve, right? So having this earlier, it will help you on the longer run. So you have this now fields defined, and what we will do now? We will initialize this page in the uh, constructor itself. So I'm just using my and then we have button sign up, right? I don't know whether this locator should work or not, but ideally it should. But if you see, these locators are not the locators that we talked about. So this is uh, probably CSS kind of a locators where they are using input along with placeholder. And here we can also use the XPath, we can also use the ID, but ideally we should go with the what we have in like a default that we get. It's an user readable thing, and this is most favored thing that Playwright also support suggests that we should use. So I'll just use that. I don't want it to make changes over there. It's efficient thing to do, so we will do go by that and use that. Please feel free to stop me if you have any questions at any point in a time. And again, this is helpful in the sense if you read it, by looking at this, you will also see input hai, placeholder, password hai. But I have not seen in real world when application is not demo, developer are that descriptive, adding all those things. Ideally, they should, but more often than not, it doesn't happen. So having these things, uh, putting it up over here by while defining it, it provides more value if you ask me, or that is what my personal opinion is. So we have changed all those things. So I'll just get rid of what we actually had earlier, and we will obviously verify that. We don't need navigate for now. Uh, and okay, we have user, we have field. So what I did, I I don't even need to call page now because already I am getting those fields. So I'm just gonna refer input, and I need to fill in input, right? So I'll just say click भी नहीं करना है, and just string fill and then username, then await, then email, then await, then password. So username. So if I have what did I define here as an in my interface? Let me check my interface. So this is a username was there, right? Not a name. So I need to change it in the sign up page that I am using username and not. And you saw that it has gone, right? So now in sign up page I am filling this thing. Okay, I'll get rid of this method I took for an example. So I am filling this data, and I am filling this data, and then I'll click on the button, right? This is what I will be doing. So my sign up page is only, this is what the page object would look like for sign up at the beginning. There are some other things that will come up and we will see that. Okay. So I should be able to sign up with the random page. That's what the idea is. Now let's go to, I'll just close this page. I'll split this place to the right for our reference, and then I'll go to the sign up page that we created. Okay. Now we are over here. Uh, we are here, and obviously we wanted to go to this particular page and do the sign up, right? So we supposed to do this somewhere. For now, I'll keep it over here and I'll create the object of just like for the login what we saw. I'll take this away and I'll take this away. I'll create a new page, right? So what is the page that I'm trying to get? User is able to sign up. So I need a sign up page. So I'll just use constant sign up page and then equals to new equals to sign up page. Now this sign up which I supposed to get imported. I supposed to import this. Okay, haven't I exported this? Then why I'm not able to? This is strange. Okay, let me go back to the login wala thing and then I'll just copy path and just add login test. Okay, something is wrong or what? Sign up page.txt. So what? Why I'm not able to import login.pages? Then why it is showing page.txt? I don't need this. I just need sign up, right? No, something doesn't. Yeah, it should have. Like anyway, we will fix it. Sometimes VS Code. My VS Code I have okay because I was copying this. I need to add the method, right? I am importing sign up. I am not importing login. So why would it would work? Now it should. Okay. Anyway, we will use it and then it will start working. So we need to sign up. We need to create a user's data. So we are just navigating to the page. We are clicking this and then we also need an user. So we have already created a method to create a user, right? So create user data. So I'll use that in the script file. What is that I'm missing? Anyone? Anyone observe something that I'm not doing right? Login page. No, this is how we initialize, right? Hmm. Did you got the issue? What was the issue? So I rely on the co-pilot. Yeah, yes, capital. So I was trying to assign same thing to same thing. It was not working. So once I changed it to small, it started working. Good catch. Very good catch. Really happy that you're paying attention. So now that we are on a sign up page, we just need to do this. So method is sign up that we have created and it accepts an user argument promise is not okay. Is not assignable to parameter user. Okay, so we may have to use here await and now it gone. So you saw the error. So this expect one promise of an argument type of an user is not assignable because this method returns you argument of a promise user which will promise will get fulfilled, but this you needn't not this method doesn't expect a promise, it expects a user, right? So we have to make sure that we add a bit in front of this and then it will work. So now we are signing up, right? So if I do this, a new user will get created and it will sign up. So I'll just if we run this, I'll close this page again and we will see whether it works or not, and then we will see what is that we should do as a next thing, right? So in the test, in the sign up page, okay, and let's see. Okay, we are already in, right? So we created a new user we don't know what is even, user ID, and this all got created on the fly. We are here. Why I have not closed the browser or not did something? We need to verify that we have landed on the dashboard page. And that is where the page object will dashboard will come into the picture, and we created the dashboard page like it was a blank page. So we will start now coding for this particular page. Obviously, we don't have to see whenever you think about page object, you don't have to write all the method at once. You will start with what is that now you will define. Even in the sign up page, we have just covered the positive flow. We have not covered the negative flow that if my user is already registered. This test was there when we recorded, but now that we are refactoring, I took it away. But if you see that, then you will realize that you don't have to create all the method at once before everything starts. And how do you go about it? You will be able to see it like uh, in this sessions today. So we should be able to cover that. So construct, playwright, and then again like very simple the page that we have. Okay, now we will go ahead and add some other things as well. But what is that we will verify this, right? Um, so is dashboard page displayed, right? So I wanted to know, am I logged in or not, right? And if you see, your feed is something that gets displayed only if you are logged in, or this particular thing is also you can verify, but other things you can't realize. So I'll suggest that if your feed is something that we are using or sign up, I'll just check articles not available is displayed and your feed is not displayed, right? My article, because I'm registering as a new user, why would there be a draft in my account? No, but in global fit, someone has created some data, it will get displayed. You can see that a lot of people are trying to test on this thing. So someone like Louis is, he is trying to do automation on this, and uh, he has done it on yesterday, 12 December. So he is adding a title with the timestamp. He is also practicing it. Seems good job, Louis. So we will try to verify these two labels. So I need to create now one method and two locators, right? So I wanted to know uh, is your fit uh, okay? What okay, welcome message or body, or what should I say? Like I need to check the tab, get that list of tabs, or get it. Click on your feed. Okay, so I'll just check is your feed tab displayed, right? So I'll say is your feed tab visible. So I just wrote a method, and obviously I need to create an locator for your feed. So I'll just go here, private. Now this is a tab, so I'll just add as a tab your feed, and I don't write as a string your feed. I'll just add as a locator because I'll be using some locator strategy to identify it, as I said. And here you will see this dot tab, and I'll just try to get the locator quickly using the pick locator, right? So I have the now the button, and I'll just say that page dot whatever that I think is right. So we have the locator now, right? And what we have to return is await this dot is visible. That's it, right? But maybe the page is too fast. I should wait like to page this page to load. So I'll just add this dot page wait for load, or I'll say read is also an option, I guess. Yeah. Oh, isn't it? Wait for load state. Let me go to the documentation. You don't have to remember everything. Even if someone is on using a playwright, that doesn't mean they have by hearted the API. That doesn't make sense. Ideally, you shouldn't, right? Wait for load state, and you will see the option over here. Wait for load is there. Network is by default would be also there, right? So even if you don't specify, it will wait for load. So let's go and use the by default. We don't have to mention load as such. This is also load anyway. So we are waiting for page to load and then whether this is visible. So is visible is something that we get a promise in return in boolean. So I'll just add return, and then obviously I should add a type to method, like what is that I'm trying to promise, right? So I'm trying to promise and promise you. Hmm. So this is what I have, that is your tab visible, and another small method get default body, get body, like something like uh, get default value of your field. Yeah, and I'm I need your feed tab, like tab. Okay, tab, uh, and then I need like tab data. This is text, and this is a locator. So, and I now won't use this get by text, because if this is like something else, I need to know like what it would be, right? What I mean by that, I can't rely on this, because what if this text is not there? My text would fail. But I don't want to do the assertion over here. So I'll in this case I'll try to use like our normal assertion, and we'll see how we can use that assertion as well. So in a way we will use the example to our need, right? So I'll go to the browser, I'll say I don't need you. I'll just use like people that have been using for the ages. Okay, I am container page, you see the row, you see there is a column. Okay, you see article not on feed toggle. So can I get the data using a feed token? Okay, article preview. So article preview should get me a data, right? So like how many article preview are there, right? So I just copy this and search whether there is multiple classes out there. But you can also use, there is only one match, but I'll prefer that if you want to see how XPath can be used, we can go ahead and use the XPath as well. So and we have XPath ready, right? So we will now this. So we talked about how to use the different ways, but here we actually wanted to verify the text, so I don't wanted to provide text. Obviously it would have failed to get the text, and we would have been anyway would have been happy to get those things, but I don't wanted to have that kind of a verification over here. So I am just waiting over here. I'll just wait for a page load state again, and then I'll just return this await dot this not inner text. I'll get a text content. So there is this method to get the text content. Await, okay, return y, return is not assignable. Okay, so if text is not there, it will also give us a null kind, right? So we have to change our return type of the method. So I just change to promise and null. So our method is ready. So our text was already ready. So we have to add an assertion. So we will just add an assertion that you can use like assertion right away like this, that it is available. But I'll suggest that you can use something like what we have created, like expect. Then we have this page, instead of now we have developed like only one page. Let's say constant. There is this dashboard page that we talked about. Okay, obviously we're gonna face the issue. So I'll just do the small t. Obviously we have to import this as well. Then so if you see the expect, the first thing is actual thing. So actual thing is what we have on the page. So I'll just say dashboard. Then isn't there a method that we have created? Get default value of your feed tab. What was the name of the method that we have created? Get default value. Get text. Get text from your tab. So I'll just copy this. I'll go to sign up. I'll just write this. And what we expect here is another string, or we can just use like explore what is that we are expecting. So this is like one parameter. Then verifying new user, newly sign up user, see correct text. So this is what is we have. Then we can write equal no articles are here yet. No, we are expecting articles not available. So this is what we expect, right? So now you see that. Okay. So now you see that your test, the code was so lengthy. Now that code has is more readable. If you look at the code, you will be able to see that what I am doing is I am going to the page, I am creating an object of two page, I am creating a data, I am signing up with that data, and then I am verifying that particular tab, have that one data. We can add multiple assertions. One test should have at least one assertion, right? So, so get is your field tab visible. So verifying newly sign up user see your field tab, and we can just write to be truthy. No, it's not to be truthy. It's truthy. And it's not to be truthy. Yes, this is what it is. Okay. Oh, wait. I'll just add a weight over here as well because our method expects the weight. And why I'm getting this equal. Okay. So I have added two assertions. Let's see whether this works or not. And here we go. Yeah. So something is working, something is not, which is good. We will see what is working and what is not. Right. So if you see that it's giving verify numerous, okay, this is giving a false tab because of something. Yeah, I know what is the issue is. So they have recently made change to the visible, and it will take a time to that particular thing to be visible. So it won't wait to for that particular page to be visible. So we can just get around that thing, but let me see if we can see that in the report as well. Playwright show report, and yes, we are able to see the report. And now if you see that I am supposed to receive something as a truthful, but I am getting false. So basically the code that we have written is your feed visible, that is not showing as visible, right? So we have to overcome that thing, and we will. Let me open this in a playwright test and UI mode, and we are here. Okay. So we know that this method is returning the data before even this is visible, right? So what we can do, we can, is visible is something that we shouldn't use it, right? So there is this, if you go to the documentation, they have changed this documentation recently, and you will be able to see what I was saying, that is visible doesn't actually wait, and this they have changed recently, added after this. Use locator based is visible instead of this locator. So uh, if you go over here, they suggest to be visible. So they expect you to wait over here using a to be visible, not actually like a page object that we use. right? Generally, what we tend to use. So we may have to write something on our own to keep it waiting and then actually returning the data to be visible. So I'll just check what actually available for us is visible element handler. Uh, Okay, await promise boolean returns whether element is visible or not, and user locator is instead. So it is instead. It doesn't wait for actually that event to happen, right? So it should ideally wait for whatever time that we have given. So uh, we can we can we can see how can we do that over here. So I'll just try to search is visible or something like that is available for us. Okay, there is only one is visible and clearly it's not what we actually want, and we actually wanted to see that element is loaded or not, right? So I'll try to use if something isn't hidden or something to see. To be hidden, ensure the locator either does not result of or resolve non-visible one, right? To be hidden, and this is actually supposed to return false, to be hidden. But if you see that, then this is coming from the expect is something that they have written over here so that it would work. So we will do the similar thing. We will await, we will write and expect, and then it's visible. So we saw this is visible, right? We expect is visible, we reject is to be in viewport, to be in viewport, to be visible. Okay, ensure locator points to that diagram, we label them to be visible. Okay, it's not like is visible, it's to be visible. And returning is void is not assignable to boolean. If it is not in, then we have to add a void as well. Okay, cool. Let's see. So this will work now, this will fail. So we saw that one has worked, one assertion has worked. So now that we will focus on the other thing, like one second one supposed to work. So you see that verify sign up user should see the text. Now this is not loaded, loading article list. It's something that we are seeing, right? And this is now that was failing earlier. It has passed, right? So how would I know? If you go to the error, verifying newly sign up user key field tab expect to be received undefined. So we are okay. We are still on like Bhopal. Okay, still getting as a same error. Verify newly sign up user is the error. So we may have to find out what is that we can do. For now, I'm just gonna, like not gonna go into the technicalities and find out the common solution. I'll just add some weight and then get over it, and then we will come back to this and fix this. Okay. So wait timeout. There's something wait for a timeout. So we can just add some timeout here. Let's say 4 seconds should be good enough. So I'll just add this and let's see whether this would work. That we are not checking is visible or to whatever the behavior that it is doing till 4 seconds, and then we'll see whether still that test fails. If that test fails, then the newest version of Playwright have something that I have not studied and maybe I have to study. Okay, it's still failing. Wow. Verifying newly user sign up. User see feed tab. Okay. And we are not seeing a feed tab. Expected to see, but it's undefined. That's good. For now, I'll just get rid of you and I'll rerun the test and we'll see what is happening. And obviously, we will debug this as well. It's a good opportunity for us to debug. So basically, this method is not up to the mark, but the other method seems to be working fine. How I know? I'll just write article 123 and I'll rerun the test. And even this test is good enough to verify whether it is working fine or not. But we will spend some 2-3 minutes try to see how debugging works within Playwright. So as you can see, So expected was article 1 to 2 not count, which I actually modified in the test like 2 minutes back. And what I received is articles not available, which is something that was there, right? And you see, this is people actually trying to do in other automation frameworks. They wanted to have this in this format, very much readable, so that people who are using this report, they can benefit out of it. And you see, all these things get out of the box with the Playwright, this report with what is not working, what is working, and how we are verifying it. So so very fascinating, right? Very easy to use and Playwright thing. So now that we have figured out, okay, this particular assertion was not working as it's supposed to, uh, we will try to find out how can we make that work as well. And while doing that, we will use a debug feature which we supposed to. So if you look at this again, await, you will see there are three dots below, so that the await has no effect on this type of expression. So let's get rid of the await. Let's try to understand what we are getting in one step at a time. I'll create a new constant is your feed visible, and I'll instead of writing this down, I'll just take it over here and I'll assign this, and I'll keep it over here. We could have debugged over there as well, but it will be easier for us to debug, right, in this way. So right now I am expecting to go into this page and we will see what is happening. So if you go over here, here you will see the debug test option. Here also you will get a debug test option. So now we are debugging it. So you will see like everything has changed over here. We are debugging. So now we have entered the page. We have already created and logged in. Look at it how fast it is. We created a new user. We logged in and we were already waiting for this method to happen. And now I am here. I am going to the page. Wait for load state. Now it will wait for 4 seconds because it's an await. And now we will see what is that we are trying to return over here. Obviously I should have added return on the same page and trying to get some values out of this. So let's see what we are getting now. So if you see, I am getting is your feed tab visible is undefined, right? So clearly this method is giving me undefined, and I can't compare undefined with to be true. So when you to be truthy or to be falsy, it's supposed to be in boolean data, right? And that is why this other method that we wrote earlier within from is boolean. So we have to make sure that you only return boolean, and then this is not something is gonna work for us. So I'll just try to use is visible, which we added earlier, and I'll just get rid of this expect wala thing. And now that we have added that 4000 as a timeout, it will definitely work. That is what my gut feeling is. I'll just stop this earlier on. It won't gonna be effective anyway. It's visible, and now I'll just wait and see, or maybe what I'll do. Anyway, I don't have to wait over here. I'll just let it run because 4 second timeout is given, and I'll just see over here. Okay, so I'll click over here and I'll debug, and what is the value that I'm getting for this particular thing. And if you see, I'm getting now value as an is your feed visible true, and then expect this test is pass, like both the things are passing. Okay, in debug mode it takes more time. Verifying, okay, we have not removed that 1 to 2 that we have added for a test. You can see how good Playwright is. It provides support, verifying what is wrong, what is not wrong. So all good, right? Okay, so we made progress. You will see now the one of the question that I'm expecting you to ask. You mentioned that Playwright supports auto writing and auto waiting. Why is this not waiting? And you have to hard code the timeout. Timeout is nothing but in Java world thread dot sleep. Why are you doing that? This is not recommended practice, and I completely agree. But if you read the documentation of this page, it's clearly mentioned, right? Deprecated. This option is ignored. What is that option is ignored? It doesn't wait for element to use, right? The element to become visible and returns immediately. So it doesn't wait to element to be visible. So that is where the trick is. It doesn't wait. It says that asset visibility. If you need to asset that element is visible, please use expect to be visible to avoid the flakiness. So they have given a right to be visible is something that we supposed to use, but then we have to write a mechanism that it will only return true or false if it is invisible or not, right? And there are other methods also available that we can use and explore. But right now we won't be going into that. We will see that once we go and explore other things. So what we have done today is we wrote another page object model where another page objects. We wrote two page objects, precisely dashboard and sign up, like very small. Uh, Login is something that we created earlier, but this is how the test looks like now. The sign up speaks, and now I know that one particular user data that I can use where uh, existing user should not able to sign up, right? So user user is able to sign up. Existing user should not should not be able to sign up, right? So we used something last time. I'm hoping that user or detail is available, or if not, I have the station. I can just try to see what is the user detail, and I can use that. Okay, Thomas Robert. So I'll just use this Thomas Robert, but I don't know the password is. Uh, okay, let me check. Okay, oh, I can set up the password. Uh, Test 123, and that's it. Okay, I'll just keep it over like this, and I'll go I'll go to my test. I'll create some user data that I need for a testing, right? So I'll use constant existing user of type user, and then I need to define this, right? So there would be username. Username is what we have seen, Cody. Then there is email. So email is Thomas Roberts at the red email. Then there is password that we have set up test at the rate of test 123 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you can see the value test 123. So so we have this existing user that's there, and we can use that user to test this test existing user. So instead of creating new data now, we will just use existing user. Okay, and now obviously this will fail because we are not even trying to run it, and obviously we won't go into the dashboard page as well. Why will we go into the dashboard page if we try to sign up, right? So I'll just get rid of all these assertions, and then we will add another few methods to the sign up uh, page, but let's see how it goes. Okay, the page executed, I suppose, in the behind. Yeah, so you can see that Cody already, email already exists. Try logging in, right? So this is what we tried. So we will need we need page object for this get error message as another uh, method for this page, right? So I'll go to the sign up page that we created, and sign up page has only one method so far, sign up. We will write async get error message. So we are not specifying which error message we want, right? We are saying that whatever text is present over there, we will need that, right? So again, I'll just add for time being this dot page dot some timeout. Playwright is too fast for some of the sites, so I'll keep it over there. And obviously, if we try to use to locate this element, it will be the Okay, we can just use that, right? It exists. It's visible. Okay, that should do to be visible. Expect. Okay, cool. That will also work. Get error message, but I wanted error message and not text. So I'll just see key if I can get using like proper other way if they have provided some kind of an ID. So there is a class error message, and I think if we use a class error message, we should be able to get the data. So if I use whatever the class is, I'm not bothered. I'll just use a class. Tag is I'm not bothered. I'm bothered about the class. So okay. So I want this thing which is in under list. Okay. And in the list itself, they okay. In the list itself, in a error message. So I supposed to get error messages. Okay. Could this be a reason? Okay, दो बार class दिखाया ना. So you see that I am getting this class. I'll go to the editor. I'll say I have one more locator, and this is an text that I'm trying to get in. So I'll write as a txt uh, error message. So whatever messages I'm not bothered about, I'll just add this dot error. This dot text dot error message equals to page dot locator, and okay. So now I'm expecting to get text out of this. So I'll just return wait. And I'll go to the spec file. Then maybe I'll just type expect await verifying existing username equal email. What is that we are getting? Email already exists. Try logging in. Now it will fail because it is also will return this particular thing, right? This particular thing. It's a part of a DOM. So it may give marker or not. I'm not sure. No, marker will not get will get the content, but let's see. It's a marker. It wasn't a text content. So I'll just use this, and if it fails, I'll show you how can we can fix that as well. This is another way you can format so that everything can squeeze into one screen. No big deal. Anyone can do it. It's just that I am writing the. So this is the test that we have done. Okay, I close this and I'll try to rerun this again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can see this existing user should not be able to sign up. Test verified. So we talked about we created a couple of pages. We separated out the logic of the test of an expectation that we assert to all part that we talked about earlier. We follow the AA pattern, arrange, act, assert. So we arranged few things, we acted upon it, and we asserted it. Assert should be always, most of the time, should be part of the test. So that is what your test defines. Your test don't have an expect or assert. It is not a test. It is just a code that you have wrote, right? So we have wrote two tests. We have defined two-page object model. We have used some hard-coded data. How we can do this better, we will see. But do you see some repetition that every test that I have do, it has like this sign up page has been created. I write 10 times, I have to do this 10 times. And this is where the describe block that I talked about earlier will come into the handy. We will not go into the detail apart from that. Today we will just cover that and we will call it off, right? because it's already like more than 1 hour and I don't want you to log. So I'm just copying these two tests and putting it in the sign up test suite. And so now this test suite is in place and I can, create something in this test suite as well. So we had like these two pages. I'll just take it out. Take this out and I'll keep it over here. Instead of this constant, I'll say the let and sign up page. I don't have to, initialize it over here. It won't work. It will need page picture, which we get default in the text, but not over here. So we will talk about it in like in 2 minutes. So this is good. This is good. Right. So basically we have defined these two variables, right? Variables of some particular type. Now we will use the hook that we talked about earlier, right? I started talking about like, yeah, we will see the before trace and I was not recording the screen. And yeah, that is what we will see before each. Let's see before each test or before each. Okay, you can put annotation in the hook itself. Okay, there should be some annotation before hooks. Let me check the hooks. So I'll use this picture, hook. I'll go to the code and here I'll just write this like I'll just copy it. I won't take like okay. So here I go and here I go and I don't know is mobile is not something that I needed. Page I get as a picture. I don't need this as well. So I do go on the register page as part of my test. So I'll just cut this and paste it. And I do initialize these two pages that we talked about, right? Sign up. So what I'll do, I'll get rid of this that was copied from the internet. Sign up and then dashboard page. So now you see that look at my code. Like before each test, I need to go over here. I need to create the object of this page. And now look at my this test. It's like you know it's like who look at the readability of this test. Before this test, I am going to the page. I am creating to page object model, and I am assigning it, and I am using it in the scope of this particular test. And my second test is existing user, which I have defined before here, of a type user. Cannot find user. Okay, I need to import it. But as you see, existing user sign up and what I am verifying, and I can run the whole suite like and both the things now I'm running here on my machine. It is running sequentially, but by default both of these things will run uh, in parallel, right? So it will work out of the box. So if you see, I'm not sure whether it will work with this time, but yeah, it will. So you can see that both these tests pass. So yeah, I think that should be good enough for today. I'm not okay. What I intended to cover, I couldn't because there is so much thing that we are covering in the minute details, like creating the page objects. It's not just that we created one page object model and we stop talking about it. We trying to see how page object model evolves, how we start adding and think about the adding method. We don't need to create all the method and so on. Like we just created a sign up and we created another method. We talked about describe block. We talked about before each hook. Obviously, there are before all hook is there. After each hook is there. After all hook is there. We talked about how we should use expect assets block. We use random data. We use faker earlier. We use the hard coded data as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that should be good enough as in scope for today. We also briefly saw what like UI mode is, how does the UI mode look like, and we will run this test once from there. I don't want you to run too much sign up test. We won't run the next time because we are creating accounts on that site for no reason. Though it is available for us for testing, we shouldn't be creating a junk data just because it is available. So this would be probably the last time that we will create sign up data, and you can see that both the tests started running at the same time, and within like you go over here. One test took like a 10 seconds, 6 seconds, in 17 seconds both the test passed, and you can see like everything that has happened. Here the user was, what user that you have used, here what details that you have punched in, and all those things. And mind you, we have added 4 seconds in time between both the tests. So if we remove this might be covered in within 10 seconds. So yeah, so pretty fast. So we talked about like this UI mode as well. Pretty great. You can see even API what has been called on the server, and what is actually being used, right? So okay, that's pretty much it for today. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy